Grand Rising, everyone. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen QueenAShakur show. I'm your host, Queen QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, hello, Lee, Louise, Tracy, Pride Bentley, Tia to you. Christopher's in the house, Donna, Black Women Stand Up. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. So let's get into it. Now listen to this. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen QueenAShakur, and make sure you follow the Queen QueenAShakur fan page. You can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Now listen to this. Tupac's sister sues trustee alleging that he embezzled millions of dollars from her mother's estate. Now, this is what QueenAShakur, the sister of Tupac, said. She filed a lawsuit against the executor of their late mother's estate, said that he embezzled millions and also refused to give back personal items with tremendous sentimental value that the deceased rap legend owned. Now, according to Billboard, the lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles court on Monday. And per the details of the suit, Executor says, Executor and Tupac Shakur's foundation alleged that Tom Wally blatantly violated his responsibilities as the executor of their mother, Afeni Shakur Davis's estate. Those alleged violations included appointing himself to a crucial management position, even though that was a conflict of interest. She says he has effectively embezzled millions of dollars for his own benefit. This is what Executor said in the lawsuit. She says Wally has unreasonably enriched himself at the expense of the beneficiaries and in bad faith by taking excessive compensation in a position from which he should properly be barred based on the inherent conflict of interest. Now, following the 1996 shooting death of Tupac Shakur, his mother Afeni was entrusted as the beneficiary of the All Eyes on Me rapper's estate. Wally, however, became the executor of Afeni's estate following her death in 2016. But upon assuming the position, Executor says she alleges that a number of Wally's actions on the job have amounted to malfeasance per Billboard. And the most notable misconduct, according to her in the lawsuit, was making himself the manager of the Amaru Entertainment record label. The company in question has reportedly overseen the release of some of Tupac's music and is principal income producing asset of the trust. Now, Wally has already received more than $5.5 million that he has paid himself in the last 5 years through the Amaru Foundation. Executor claimed in the lawsuit, adding that Wally has also refused to hand over her late brother's personal belongings, which include valuables that were passed on to their mother, Afeni. The items include Tupac's cars, jewelry, artwork, and his golden records. She says it is clear that he has used and abused his powers as executor and special trustee of the estate and the trust to convert the personal property belonging to Executor as a piggy bank from which he has drawn substantial funds for his own benefit. Now, the allegations were, however, rejected by the attorney that was representing the trust, according to Billboard. Howard King, a popular music litigator, told the news outlet, Wally has been a friend and confidant of Tupac and Afeni for a long time, and he had done nothing unethical. King also stressed that Afeni appointed Wally as the manager of the Amaru Entertainment prior to her death. Now, they say these legal claims are disappointing and detrimental to all beneficiaries of the trust. This is what King says. He says, we are confident that the court will promptly conclude that Tom has always acted in the best interest of Amaru, the trust, and the beneficiaries. Well, we know how that goes. You know, people will lie, cheat, and steal and do all sorts of nefarious things for money. I'm not saying he did what he's accused of, but it's very likely that he did. Now, they say the battle for Prince's estate, the legal battle has ended. Prince's estate valued at $156.4 million, and the legal battle now ends. So The 6-year battle over pop superstar Prince's estate has ended, meaning the process of distributing the artist's wealth could begin next month. Now, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune reports that the Internal Revenue Service and the estate's administrator, Comerica Bank and Trust, agreed to value Prince's estate at $156.4 million, a figure that the artist's heirs have also accepted. Now, the valuation dwarfs of Comerica's earlier $82.3 million appraisal, and the Internal Revenue Service in 2020 had previously valued the estate at $163.2 million. Prince, who died of a fentanyl overdose in 2016, did not have a will. Since then, lawyers and consultants have been paid tens of millions of dollars to administer his estate and come up with a plan for its distribution. 2 of Prince's 6 sibling heirs, Alfred Jackson and John R. Nelson, have died. 2 others are in their 80s. They say it has been a long 6 years. This is what L. London McMillan, an attorney for 3 of Prince's siblings, said at a hearing Friday in Carver County District Court. Now, in the end, the estate will be almost evenly divided between a well-funded New York music company, Primary Wave, and the 3 oldest of the music icon's 6 heirs of their families. The IRS and Comerica settled last spring on the real estate portion of Prince's estate, but they said the trickier task of valuing intangible assets, such as rights to Prince's music, was not completed until October. As part of the agreement, the IRS dropped a $6.4 million accuracy-related penalty that it had levied on Prince's estate. The Minnesota Department of Revenue, which agreed on the estate's valuation, also has dropped an accuracy penalty, according to the filing. Now, taxes on Prince's fortune will run into the tens of millions of dollars. Just over $5 million of Prince's estate will be exempted from taxes under federal law. But thereafter, the tax rate is 40% in Minnesota. The first $3 million in tax is exempt, and after that, much of Prince's estate will likely be taxed at 16%. In mid-2020, Comerica sued the IRS and U.S. tax court, saying that the agency's calculations of the estate's value were riddled with errors. A tax trial set for March in St. Paul has been canceled because of the settlement. Now, Comerica is in a court filing Friday, said that while the IRS settlement was fair and reasonable, it believes that it would have prevailed in the tax court case. Comerica said it told Prince's heirs that if lowering estate taxes was their primary interest, they should continue pressing the IRS, and if need be, go to trial. Instead, the members of the heir group have uniformly communicated to Comerica that their strong desire that the estate settle with the taxing authorities, according to the filings. Let me tell y'all something. This is why it is imperative to have a living will. Now, I don't know how anybody can be so rich and not have a will. That's absolutely crazy to me. I'm not rich, but I do have a will, and I think everybody should have one at the end of the day. Do you want people fighting for years, dragging it out in court and all of that for your assets, when you know who you specifically want to have these things, record labels and all these types of people coming in and snatching up stuff that should be going to your family, all of your hard work and royalties and all of that? That's just real crazy. I don't know why people don't just make wills, period. That's real crazy. Another thing that people don't do, which is also crazy to me, is they don't get life insurance. Why would you not get life insurance? You have car insurance, right? You have homeowners insurance, right? Some of you have renters insurance. Why would you not have life insurance? Like, that really makes no sense. And I'm going to tell you something, Black people. If more Black people had life insurance policies, especially in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, I guarantee you that the police killings of unarmed Black people would cease. Okay? I guarantee you they would decline, because you know what would happen? All these police going out here just killing all these Black people with all this insurance on themselves, and hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars being spent by said insurance companies. Well, I'm sure they would go after the police and start suing them. So it's highly crazy to not have a life insurance or to have a living will. Why would you not do that? That's absolutely crazy. You could be here today and literally gone tomorrow. So But you know what the thing is? A lot of Black people just foolishly procrastinate and think that life's just going to continue to keep going and they're not going anywhere. But yes, we all have to go and you never know when. So it's always smart to have a will. I'm just saying, it's also crazy. You want something that you would intend for your children and grandchildren to be just given off to people in the state fighting over and all this crazy stuff. You want to die and don't have insurance and your family have to raise money to try to bury you. Like, that should be totally embarrassing. That should be totally embarrassing, especially if you're one of those Black folk who walk around here with all the Fendi, Gucci, Burberry, Prada, red bottoms, Louis Vuittons, and all that crazy stuff. But you don't even have a will. You don't even have life insurance. Please, somebody make that make sense, because it doesn't. Okay? It absolutely does not. That's real crazy to me. But anyway, a lot of Black people, sadly, don't prioritize. They live for the day, engaging in foolishness and nefariousness and materialistic things. Only what they can see right now in front of them is what they worry about, not what's going to happen in the future generations to come when they leave here and don't leave anything behind. And so anyway, now listen to this. This is from the book of Mayo-splaining 101, page 23. Pay attention. And so, South Carolina news anchor Amy Wood blames alcohol, peer pressure, and all of that for her daughter, Gracie Wood, going on a racist, homophobic rant. Say what now? So it's blaming on the alcohol time? Is that what it is? It's the peers that pressured her into saying and doing these things? Y'all need to pay attention, because these people are so ridiculous. I mean, they say and do all of this foolishness, and then they always have an excuse. Pay attention. Anyway, let's get into it. It's clear that she has an excuse for the foolishness. So it looks like they have a video here, which I'm going to show. Hold on, let me get this stuff off the screen. These pop-ups. And so they say, WSPA news anchor Amy Wood and her family are under fire after Wood's daughter Gracie was caught on camera saying some despicable things. Gracie's father, Mike Wood, is also a Spartanburg County magistrate judge. Can you imagine? With the power to make minorities suffer under the guise of justice. And so prayers up for South Carolina, they say. Hold on, I'm going to show this video. I haven't seen it, but I would like to. Everyone likes up. Please like and share. I'm going to mute my mic.
Mexicans and Middle Easterns out. All they do is want to kill people. What? What about what?
Africa.
Africans cat! We should blow the whole continent of Africa.
How do you feel about Germany?
Y'all are Nazis, but since y'all hate gay people and Black people, I support. Hail. Hail Hitler! Honestly, Hitler was a pretty quality man. And he went out the right way by killing himself. I feel like I'd rather kill myself than be killed by a firing squad. Let's think about it. Fair and word.
Oh! I fucking got it!
Wait, thank you, beloveds. I just realized the mic was still muted. Hold on. Now let me go back over all of this. And so anyway, now this girl said all this hateful, wretched stuff. Her mother, right, okay? Her mother goes on to make all these excuses. But first, remind you, she said there was no excuse for the foolishness. There was no excuse, but then makes excuses, blaming all of her friends. Now, hold on. Let me read the statements. This is what her mom posted on Facebook. She says, I want to apologize on behalf of my daughter and our family for the horrific, disgusting, and vile things that my daughter said on the video that so many of you have seen. We know the words spoken have caused terrible pain, and we're heartbroken over this, since we have never tolerated racism or hate in any fashion. Now, we stand completely opposed to any behavior that diminishes anyone. Please. I've been a people person my whole life, and I've raised my children to love everyone, she says. There are no excuses for anything on that tape. Now, pay attention, because right there she says, there are no excuses for anything on that tape. Then she goes on to say, Gracie has been a champion of rights and equality at her school. This party at someone else's home provided the perfect opportunity for so-called friends to bait a very intoxicated 17-year-old to say things that are in direct conflict with the way she has led her life. This is not Gracie's heart. This is not our heart. We will be working to learn from this and to grow even stronger in our beliefs of equality and inclusion. To anyone who has been hurt, we offer our sincerest apology and ask for your forgiveness. First of all, this is a whole load of crap, okay? First of all, she's sitting here acting like this girl is a champion of equality and justice. Please miss me with all of it. And then she says there's no excuse for anything, but she says her friends baited her. That's what she says. She says the friends baited a very intoxicated 17-year-old. Now, here's the question. What were 17-year-olds doing drinking at this party? I'm just curious. Were any adults who were there on the premises arrested for contributing to the delinquency of a minor? Because clearly this is illegal, right? 17-year-olds drunk. Now, this is what our own mother said. So anyway, they say if you look at the comments, you'll see tons of white folks sending prayers as though the Woods are the victims in all of this. Oakwood Prep has also released a statement. So pay attention. The white folk are sitting there trying to go along with the mansplaining BS and act like these people are victims. Like all these hateful things she said about Black people, Middle Easterners, Mexicans, the Jewish community, LGBTQ, you name it. But she's the victim. I find that very interesting. They say, this is what the school released in their statement. They say, we have been made aware of recent statements made by an Oak Brook student. Now, while these statements were made off campus in a non-related school event, and they're prefacing it by saying that it didn't happen at the school and it was a non-related school event because they don't want to give any punishment to this girl because her parents have money and influence. They don't want to suspend or expel her. So they're making sure to let you know that even though she said these horrid things, she didn't do it at school. So pretty much they're saying it's nothing they can do about it. Pay attention. Now they say, while these statements were made off campus in a non-school related event, we find these comments and the behavior of those involved offensive and extremely disappointing. Expel all of them if that's the case, if you're so disappointed. Now, the statements were not reflective of Oakwood's mission and core values, which are academic excellence, character, community, creativity, and diversity. As an advocate, or as advocates of all of God's people, we strive to create a community that is respectful and inclusive based on biblical principles and appreciates the richness of different cultures and viewpoints. Our school leadership is prayerfully considering actions that we can take to reinforce our core values, enable our students and staff to learn from this experience, and promote a caring environment where everyone in our community feels respected and valued. Let me tell y'all something. This is a whole load of crock. At the end of the day, if this school was so into their core values and they were so disappointed in all of this wretched things that were said and done, they would suspend every last one of those students. And they would also be asking the same question I'm asking. Why in the hell were 17-year-olds intoxicated in the first place? Nobody was arrested for that. Nobody that was at the home in charge got any consequences for that. At the end of the day, Copper Queen K says, them kids wasn't talking about no scriptures. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing but mayo-splaining 101, like I always tell you, page 23. It's always what they do. They always have some sad story that they want to tell when one of the mayos goes out there on a racist rant, clearly just being who they are in the first place. This is nothing new. This is who they are and what they are. And like I said, for many of you who have white friends, this is exactly how they talk behind your black backs. These are the things that they say when you're not listening. And they smile in your faces. And some of y'all just sitting out there cooning and buffooning, acting like whole plantation mammies and pappies and sammies, thinking that it's all great and that they just really love your black behind. But they don't. They don't. This is how most of them talk. And you know how I know this is how most of them talk? Because not only was she saying all these wretched, vile things about black people, she was also saying that all black people look like monkeys. That's what she said. She said all black people, let me go back to it because I don't want to lie. Now I'm going to read what she said again. I know y'all heard it in the footage, but I'm going to read it again just so you don't miss it. In the footage first posted to the @Sauce Carolina IG account, reportedly the 17-year-old Oakwood Preparatory School student tells her friends that all Mexicans and Middle Easterners want to do is kill people. That sounds more like her people than Mexicans and Middle Easterners. I'm just saying. But anyway, when asked how she feels about Africans, Gracie screamed, "Kill them," and suggested that those in power blow up the entire continents of Africa. Now, when asked about Germans, her response was, "Y'all are Nazis, but since y'all hate gay people and black people, I support." She then proceeded to give what's known as a Nazi salute while shouting "Hail Hitler" and insisting that Hitler was a pretty quality man and that he went out the right way by killing himself. Gracie then went on to say that all black people look like monkeys. She also listed all of her favorite slurs, which of course her favorite is the N-word. But her mother wants us to think that she's a champion of equality and diversity, like she's a whole activist, no less, and that she was baited into saying these things. Let me tell you what I didn't hear in that video. What I didn't hear in that video was anyone baiting her to say any of this. This is what she said willfully. She was the cheerleader. She was the one carrying the whole conversation. Okay? That's how that went. And her mother said, oh, she's taught her to love everybody. Clearly not. Oh, you mean everybody who's white? Is that what she taught her? Because that's what it sounds like. And then for her to say all black people look like monkeys, let me tell you something, honey. Black people don't look like monkeys. I don't know why they love to say that. They're projecting themselves onto us. Black people don't look like monkeys. Have you seen a monkey's lips? Do they look like mine? I don't think so, right? So with that all being said, nor do we grow tails or have the rhesus monkey gene. So why do they always try to liken black folks to monkeys? It's so hilarious when you really think about it, right? I cannot with these people. I absolutely cannot. Vince I Am says, oh, so crazy. Hold on. This chat's moving quickly. Vince says, does she know the swastika symbol was stolen from black people? Of course she doesn't. What do stupid, ignorant, wiggerant, racist people know? They don't know anything except how to inbreed, right? Date their own cousins and sisters and siblings. That's all they know how to do. And hate on black people and stay up in our business. That's what they know how to do. She doesn't, I'm sure she has no idea that the swastika came from black people over in Ethiopia. She does not know that, I'm sure. FBA Indigo says, they're the ones with Neanderthal DNA to help with that racist devil. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Terry says she learned being racist at home. Of course she did. Absolutely. L. Monroe says this is indoctrinating information from that person. Michael says cavemen and women weren't those folks the plague. Okay. It's just, let me tell you something. Here's the thing. Y'all need to be paying attention because after she said all of this and the video came out and was released and she was called out on her BS, there was thousands upon thousands of people who look like her, i.e. white folk, who were sending her and her family prayers like they were the victims. That should let you know how deep rooted the racism is in this country and how, in fact, most white people are racist. That's just a fact. That is an absolute fact. Most white people are racist. That's why they male slang. That's why they stay on code and stick together. And when they know that they're saying some racist bullshit, the sympathy and empathy goes to the ones who said the things, not about or to the people they said it about. That's how that works. All right? But Kabami wants us to think that this country isn't full of white supremacy wannabes. Anyways, all so ridiculous. Terry says, facts, queen. Thank you, beloved. So anyway, with that all being said, let me tell you something. I have zero patience for racist devils, and I do mean zero patience. You know, and it is so amazing how after all this time and all these years, they are still so incessantly obsessed with Black people. Do y'all notice things? Like they always have to be, you know, saying something to you on social media, coming on your pro-Black channels, talking trash, just hating, worried about what we're saying and doing and thinking. Like, mind your own, make your business. But no, they can't do that. Because to them, we are their business, right? And when they want to start spewing their racism and hatred, the first thing that they go to is to start calling Black people monkeys and the N-word. I find that very interesting. Because I happen to know, as many of you also know, that we came from royalty. We didn't come from caves. So when they start talking about all those things, they should talk about themselves. That's what they should do. Should talk about themselves. Yes, they're envious. Absolutely, 6'3" soldier. Copper Queen K says they can't get their attention without us. Absolutely. And you know what's the most annoying thing to me? I'm gonna tell you what the most annoying thing to me is about these racist pieces of shite. They sit up there and talk all this trash about Black people, call us monkeys, say we got big lips, our skin's too dark, and just try to act like we so ugly. But at the end of the day, they do everything that they can to look like us. Don't they go out there and get those nappy, knotted, what do you want to call it, bird nest looking fake locks? They call those dreadlocks, honey. Those are not dreadlocks. Those are mops on their heads. They try to emulate everything that we do. They go out there and try to dance like us, walk like us, talk like us, dress like us, try to use our slang, appropriate everything that we do. But at the end of the day, they sit out in the sun also and get as tan as they can get. And even then, that's not enough. So they go and put 3 shades of makeup darker than their own skin onto their faces. And then try to perm their hair and all of that just to look Black. But you want to sit there and talk about Black people and call us apes? Please make that make sense. That just tells me that they're so envious and so jealous and so unhappy with themselves and the way they actually look. Anyone who has an aversion to the sun, that just lets you know you weren't supposed to be here in the first place. That's all I'm saying. So with that all being said, yes, Michael, they absolutely are. Okay? I cannot. Anyway. With that all being said, let me tell y'all something. These devils keep exposing themselves. Y'all remember Michelle Amanette, whatever her name was, that judge, the one who stepped down from the bench after her and her entire family was caught using the N-word on that video, which I exposed a few weeks ago. Y'all remember that? This is who they really are. And these people sit on benches and wear Black robes as judges, issuing out justice to people who look like you and me. And do you think they're giving out justice fairly and equitably? Of course they're not. That's why people who are whole thugs like Kyle Rittenhouse and murderous killers get off scot-free. That's why the little old rapist who raped that 16-year-old girl at a party that I reported on just days ago, remember Friday? Yeah, that's why that white judge reversed the conviction. She didn't want him going to prison. That's what they do for their own. So no, they're not issuing out fair justice. The whole criminal justice system is full of criminals. And a lot of these judges on the benches are racist as hell. And when little things like this happen, that's when you find out. Because let's not forget, this little 17-year-old bitch who said all this stuff, her father is a judge. So how do you think he's doing sitting on the bench when Black people come into his courtroom, or Mexicans, or people who are members of LGBTQ? You think he's issuing out fair justice? I'm sure he is not. And you know what? At the end of the day, these people who say these things, these teenagers, whatever you want to call them, young adults, They're just doing what they learned at home. They hear their parents talk like this. They've heard their parents talk like this since they were growing up. That's where they get it from. So for her mother to sit there and try to blame it on her friends are racist just like she is. And so for her to say that the friends baited her, nobody baited her. She said just what was on her mind, just what she really thinks, and just what's in her heart. She's not anything about diversity and inclusion and equality. That's what she's not. She's a little piece of shite who has white privilege and who actually thinks that white people are better than everybody else. That's what she thinks. And that's why she made those comments. So her parents can miss me with this because I blame them. Okay? Who raised her? They did. So anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. Please make sure you follow the QueenAShakur fan page. You can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. And I hope to see you all later today for your daily vitamins. Peace.